Hello, good evening, everyone. Again,
good evening, Geshe.
So, as usual, we start with a short breathing meditations or exercise. Then we can try to generate motivations by thinking, by us being here together, coming together, listen, reflect, contemplate. Due to all of that, maybe become cause and conditions. To have a strong Guru Yoga established in our mind, in our life. And through the practice of Guru Yoga and meditations, may we be able to generate all the realizations, the path to enlightenment, especially great compassion, loving kindness, both to the mind and wisdom realizing emptiness within our mind stream. And having generated those, the path to enlightenment, may we be able to achieve fully enlightened state or fully enlightened. And as quick as possible, so we can be greatest help, benefit to each and every sentient beings. So we can help them to free all their suffering and cause of suffering permanently. And to help them to achieve true lasting ultimate happiness and the causes of that ultimate happiness. Okay. To the founder, the endowed, transcended, destroyed, the one gone beyond, the fourth destroyed, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the Wood, supreme guide for human beings to become teachers of God and human beings to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent, destroyed, the glorious conquered, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offering, and go for refuge. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all three, ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all atoms in all aspects, with the supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous action. Perform only perfect virtuous action. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of Buddha, a star, a visual, aberrations, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning and clouds, see condition, things as such. Through this merit, may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. I frustrated the Arya triple gem, thus did I hear one day. The Bhagavan was dwelling on a massive waters mountain in the Rasgiriya together with a great community of monks and great community of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was observing the concentration of the categories phenomena for profound perception. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: how should any son of the lineage strain who wish to practice the activities of profound perfection and wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this: Venerable Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wish to practice the activities of profound perfection and wisdom should look upon it like this correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness, form, empty, not other than form. Form is also not other than empty. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factor, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, life was all phenomena, emptiness without characteristic, unproduced, unsustained, not without stand, not division, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visual form, no sound, no order, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on up to and including no mind element, no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, the Bodhisattva rely on dwelling the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in 3 times also manifestly and completely awaken to the unsurprised for perfect, complete enlightenment and rely on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of knowledge, the unsurprised mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that totally faces by all self, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of perfection of wisdom declare, Tayatha Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from the concentration and commented the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as we have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoiced. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding in their entirety along the worlds, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas were overjoyed. Highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. So shibeki 조심해도 담아리라네 인데 겐바디 성계신도 미대오와이 요근 남한다신 제발조이다 그러라면 달아가미야타야. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create to listen to the Dharma, and I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Jodan Sangye Sonam La Changju Badu Tan Geshe Sherab Sonam Dola Penje Sangye Do Sangye Jodan Sangye Sonam La Changju Badu Tan Geshe Sherab Sonam Dola Penje Sangye Do. So we have been going through this particular practice of the Guru Yoga Avalokiteshvara, composed by his own Dalai Lama, and within that sections, I know at the very beginning, it starts with the preliminary practices of generating both bodhicitta and refuge, for immeasurable, blessing the place and blessing the offerings. Then generating the merit field, his own Dalai Lama, and at the heart of his own Dalai Lama, there's the cherished Avalokiteshvara forearm. At his heart, there's the 3 syllables, and then after that, engage in the practice of 7 limb practices to purify the obstacles and to accumulate the conducive conditions. And after that, there is the mandala offerings as a way to create extensive merit, positive energy, conducive conditions to cultivate the generate the realizations on the path. So I think we are kind of up to date. I think if I and I think it's I think it's page number 10, and then within the page number 10, I think the blessing by the master. I think so again. So from the 3 syllable letter at the heart of Avalokiteshvara, cherished, forearm cherished, and the cherished who is seated in the heart of my venerable master. So here the venerable master is His Holiness Dalai Lama. I think sometime the English word that we use, venerable, I don't know, it has not the same meaning as the Tibetan word we should jejun, but anyway, I think it has a profound meaning of that, but I guess there's no exact translation of that. And from the heart of His Holiness Avalokiteshvara and the 3 letter, then flow the stream of nectars in the form of, in a race of 5 colors, 5 colors nectar, 5 colors beam or rays, penetrating the crown of my head, your crown of your head, and eliminating and like taking shower from the crown of your head, and penetrating into your whole body, and then eliminating, all the obscurations, such as all the negative karma, all the delusions, and all the obscuration completely, And once that has been, all the obscuration being completely cleansed and purified, eliminated, then, receiving, endowing me with the both common and exclusive powerful attainment, and then, receiving the blessing of enlightened body, speech, and mind, and especially the blessing of, the spiritual attainment, such as common, the 8 common spiritual attainment, and exclusive powerful attainment is fully enlightenment, the supreme enlightenment. So while you do that kind of visualizations, while you keep that visualizations, then we try to receive the name of His Holiness, the name mantra of His Holiness the Lama. So here, Oma Guru Vajadara, Waginda Sumati, Shasana Dara, Samunda Shri Bara Sawa Siddhi Hum Hum. So again, the meaning of that, Om represent the Vajra or holy body, R represent the holy speech, Vajra speech. Guru is the spiritual masters. Then the Vajra is the indestructive, the doche of the Vajras. And Dara is someone who who holds that Vajra. So the Vajra, in generally, the Vajra is a clear-like mind, and that realize the ultimate reality directly. So holding that, who possess that. Vadaraga is venerable in Tibetan is Jejun, and again that has a very profound meaning. Je means one, Jun means one, different qualities, So someone who has cultivated the realization of small scope, middle scope, and Jejun Lama, and Lama is someone who possesses the practice of high scopes, So, and Menju is, Menju is like the Menju Shri, Pele is glorious. Waginda is, someone who has empowered the speech. Sumadhi is the good heart. Jnana is the exalted wisdom. Shasana is the teachings. And Dara is someone who holds the teachings, And Samundra is the oceans. And Shri is the glorious again. Bada is the noble, good heart. Sawa is all, And Siddhi is the spiritual accomplishment. The first hum means bestow it, and second hum represent the holy speech. So basically, that is reciting the whole So that is kind of meaning of each of the name. Okay, but if we try to make it kind of the whole meaning of that is, it is saying, please grant all the blessings and the siddhis or spiritual accomplishment of holy body, speech, and mind of Guru Vajradhara, Venerable Menju Shri Ngawang Losang Yishi Tenzin Gyatso. That is His Holiness' full name, His Holiness' full name is, Menju Shri Ngawang Losang Yishi Tenzin Gyatso. So basically, while reciting his name, requesting to grant and bestow all the blessings and spiritual accomplishment of holy body, speech, mind of His Holiness Guru, His Holiness the Lama, who is one and inseparable from the Avalokiteshvara, who is one with Avalokiteshvara, who is inseparable from the Avalokiteshvara. So with that understanding of meaning, while we have that understanding of meaning, then you try to recite that mantras, His one Dalai Lama's mantras, name mantras, as many as possible. You can recite 1, you can recite 3, you can recite 7 times, you can recite 21 times, you can recite 1 mala, and 100,000, million, billions, doesn't matter. You can do that. But so that is where you do the visualizations, as mentioned, the visualizations that is mentioned. And then when you recite the mantras, the main thing is to remember is a request. Is a request to bless and to grant all the blessing of enlightened body, speech, and mind of the Guru, who is inseparable from the deity Avalokiteshvara, and all the spiritual attainment or accomplishment. So I think even you don't remember word by word, if you remember kind of mostly that in your then while you are reciting the mantras. So then I think then it becomes more meaningful, and also what you are reciting, the mantra, what it means, what you are reciting, and so that it has more stronger connections and more stronger feelings in your practice while you are reciting that particular mantras. Okay. So that is what it is. Recite the mantra of spiritual masters, as many as possible. Okay, so that is up to that. Then next is the prayer of graduated path. So after we have the whole practice that we have done so far, the whole Guru Yoga that is combined with the other practice of purification and accumulation of merit, whole practice is done in order to have realization of graduate path, the path to enlightenment. So that is here now. The actual meditations comes here. So we do all this first in order to have all the blessing and all of that, so that we can have, as we started to meditate on the next lumbering path, graduate path, so that we can have a more success in those meditation practice, so that we can have spiritual realizations to develop within our minds. So then next, the prayer of the graduate path. So again, I think it's important to us to understand, in Buddhist term, when we use the prayers, we have to remember it's not the same like always asking something from someone else. Here, like when a graduate path here is that you are reciting that verse as tools to reflect and contemplate on that. I don't remember which master, one of the great Tibetan master, he used an example, the prayer, the words, as like the what do you call, crane, when you cannot walk properly, you use the crane to walk, and so the word is the prayer, the word is like the cane, and the person walking, by relying on that, is reflecting, contemplating on the meaning of that, so it is just a tool. It's like the cane, but the actual is the contemplation and reflecting on the meaning of that has been recited, so we can take that. So first, in terms of the graduate path, the lumbering path, So it starts with the practice of Guru devotions or Guru Yoga, Guru devotions, so bestow on me your blessing to be devoted to my masters with the purest thoughts and actions, gaining confidence that you of compassionate holy masters are the basis of temporary and everlasting bliss. For you elucidate the true path free from all the deceptions and embody totality of refuge, past numbers. So here is, first, again, we try to the magnetic field that we have generated and visualized of His Holiness and Avalokiteshvara. We make a strong request to inspire us, to bless us, to guide us, so that we can have all the spiritual realizations on the path. And while you make that request, you can visualize that the Guru Avalokiteshvara accept joyfully, delightfully your request. And then, again, white light and nectar flow from the three syllables of his heart, cleanse and purify all the delusion, all negative karma, all the delusion, all the obscurations. And here, especially, all the obscurations to have a realization of Guru devotions being completely, because the first verse is related with that particular meditations, Guru devotions. So whatever obstacle there are to have that realizations being completely cleansed and purified, and then again more yellow, orange light and nectar flow from their heart into yourself and healing your whole body, receiving all the blessing of body, speech, and mind, and especially the blessing of all the spiritual realization, Lamrim realization, and here particularly the realizations of the Guru devotions. So you do that, visualizing that practice, and then you actually do more, contemplative meditations, analytical meditations on here with the first line, Guru devotions, So again, the Guru, who's most kind, most kind in showing us the unmistaken path to enlightenment, someone who show us the unmistaken path to enlightenment, the path, that is the cause and the basics and root of temporary and ultimate happiness, the Dharma, the path. The Dharma, the path, is the source of our temporary happiness and our ultimate happiness. If we can really practice the Dharma, if we can really actualize the Dharma, if we can really actualize the path, definitely while we are on the path, while we are still in samsara on the path, one will be much more happy. Much more happy. Your mind will be much more, calm, peaceful. Your mind will be less disturbed by external conditions, external, internal conditions. Your mind will be much more content, satisfied, And so you find much more happiness in your life, regardless of what your external situations, in terms of our health. Sometimes we're healthy, sometimes we're not healthy. Regardless of that, you can still be happy and keep your mind calm. Sometimes our relations are good, sometimes not good. Despite that, you can still keep your mind calm, peaceful, not so disturbed. Our financial situation can go up and down, but still it doesn't affect your mind so much. You can still be joyful and happy. The situation in the world can be very destructive or very good or nice, time to time changes, but it doesn't make your mind so disturbed, frustrated, angry, and that instead you can be able to keep your mind calm, peaceful. Therefore, if we really practice Dharma and if we really can cultivate Dharma within our mind, the path, you will definitely find much more happiness, peace, Even while we are in samsara, still while we are still on the path. Then, of course, through the practice of the path and the Dharma, ultimately, then one will achieve our highest potential, the fully awakened state, fully enlightened state, and that is the ultimate happiness. That is the true ultimate happiness. That is the source. That happiness state is the source of happiness for all sentient beings. That is the source of all sentient beings' happiness. So therefore, and in order to actualize that Dharma within ourselves, in order to generate the path within ourselves, we need to practice. To practice, we need to know how to practice correctly, unmistakably. In order to know how to practice correctly, unmistakably, since we don't know by ourselves, we need to be guided by someone. We need to be taught and guided and show the path. And who does that for us is our Guru. Who does for us really is the Guru. Who show us the path, who show us how to practice, how to meditate is the Guru. And so therefore, Guru is so kind in that. And the more we are able to actualize the realization, the path within ourselves, the more we feel kindness of the Guru. Because now you experience the result of your practice. You started to experience the result of your practice that has changed your life, your experience, so wonderful. And when you think that, where does it come from? Through your practice. Where does your practice come from? Because being inspired, because being instructed, because being advised, because by showing the path by our spiritual teacher, the Guru. And so you begin to really feel incredible kindness of them. And when you feel the kindness of them, then of course, devotion just arises naturally, It's not like someone forcing you to have devotions, whether the teacher is demanding you to have a devotions, or someone else forcing you to have devotion, but devotion will come naturally because you feel naturally kindness of that. Because you feel kindness of that. And you feel kindness of that now because you are experiencing the result, wonderful result of your own practice that has been inspired by the teachers' example, inspirations, teachings, advice, instruction, so forth, And so, and that guru and that masters, as he say, embody the totality of refuge past number. So it means that guru is all in one. Just in the Lama Chopa, there is saying, you are the guru, you are the idam, you are the Buddha, Dharmas, you are the Dharma protectors, you are the Daga, everything. The same way. So we begin to see that. Basically, all of those are a manifestation of ultimate Guru, Dharmakaya, from one point of view, and even this Guru who is in that ordinary form is also a manifestation of that ultimate Guru, Dharmakaya, in that form, because we cannot experience the ultimate Guru, because we cannot have experienced the Dharmakaya ourselves. So then Dharmakaya display those different forms where we can kind of experience and contact. And so therefore, that is where, that Guru embodied the totality refuge, all the refuge of all numbers, all in one, And so therefore, when we make an offerings, when we do a homage, prostrations, when you pray, then it is equal as praying to all the Buddhas, to all the refuges. And there are different way of seeing the gurus, according to different level of the practice. For example, in the teachings on Savasaka traditions, teachings, then you try to see the Guru as the messenger of the Buddha, the messenger of the Buddha, or representative of the Buddha. Because through Guru, we get all the teachings. So it is the messenger of the Buddhas to share all the Buddha's wisdom, knowledge, through that, because we don't have access to the actual Buddha Shakyamuni directly, or other Buddhas directly. So what we receive from the old Buddha is through the Gurus. So from that, then the Guru is looked as a messenger of the Buddhas. Then in Mahayana teachings, in Mahayana Prasadaparamita, that then not only you see as a messenger of the Buddha, but actually you try to see them as a Buddha. Not only now your practice in relation to the teacher, spiritual master, Guru is now more advanced. Now you don't just see as a messenger, but you try to see them as a Buddha. Buddha in an ordinary form. Whatever form they come in, Buddha in an ordinary form, because we don't have the karma, we are obscured by the obscuration to be able to see the Buddha in his full form. So therefore we can only see them in that ordinary form because of our karma. And so they manifest in that ordinary form, but still they are Buddha, seen as a Buddha. Then when it goes to the Vajrayana Tantric practice, your practice on Guru Yoga or Guru devotion go even further. Not only you see the Guru as a Buddha, but you try to not see in ordinary form, you try to see in the form of the deity, the Buddha's form. Now you don't try to see in an ordinary form, but you actually try to see the Avalokiteshvara form, the Guru himself in that Avalokiteshvara form. It's the Guru that has manifested in these cases, His Holiness Dalai Lama manifested in Avalokiteshvara's form. So seeing Avalokiteshvara, so the practice of Guru Yoga or the Guru devotions get more and more profound and more advanced as your practice also progress according to those different levels of the practice. And so, of course, here is related with the tantric Vajrayana practices. So that is where we try to see, His Holiness Dalai Lama in the form of Avalokiteshvara, and seeing them inseparable is a one, So that is also why I told a little or refuse all the past numbers, So we try to contemplate, meditate on that, and then try to contemplate, gain confidence in that, to gain confidence and trust, that the Guru is the one who embody everything's, all the refuge. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, all the gurus, all the yidams, all the Buddhas, all the yidams, all the Daga, Dagini, hero, heroines, all Dharma projected all in one, and by seeing all of those are just a display and manifestation of the Guru. Seeing all of them are just a manifestation and display of them. And so through that, we try to gain strong confidence, faith, through that kind of understanding, realizations. In order to that realizations and understanding, we need to reflect, contemplate more and more. And the more we reflect, the more contemplate, the more we feel the confidence, the trust, the faith. And through that strong faith, confidence, and trust, then the devotions arises naturally, easily. And by seeing their kindness, by seeing their kindness, then not only faith and trust and confidence, we also cultivate a strong respect, in terms of kindness because of their kindness, as is mentioned in Lama Choba, even though so many Buddha has appeared, in the world, in the different forms and different ways, and guided and leaded so many sentient beings, but we have not been able to, due to our own karma, we have not been able to meet them and receive the teachings and make a progress in our path. That's why we're still in samsara, that we're still lost, and that's why we're full of delusions at the moment, But in this lifetime, at least in this lifetime, we have met, this Guru, and through this Guru, we are able to have access to the Dharma. Our eyes have been opened through the Guru. Our heart, our mind has been opened to the Dharma through the kindness of the Guru. Through the kindness of the Guru, we have started to have some inspirations, some interest to practice the Dharma. Not only that, through the kindness of the Gurus and inspiration from the Gurus, not only we have some inspiration and interest, actually we have engaged in the practicing. We are, even though we might not be perfect, but we have started to enter the path by making the first steps, trying to practice. Sometimes we have more success, sometimes less success, sometimes we are able to practice better, but we are practicing it. Not only we are practicing it, sometimes we are able to see the benefit, the result of that to a certain level. And all of that is because of the kindness of the Gurus, So through that, then we try to generate a strong, So that is with a pure thought. That is the pure thought when it says here, bless me to um, with the purest thought and actions, so that is what with the purest thought is through that understanding, then having the strong faith, devotions, respect, and the purest actions is, trying to repay the kindness, even though no matter what we do, it's hard to repay the kindness, but still there are certain ways that we can try to repay the kindness of their kindness, and that is through offering our service, offerings, whatever things that we can offer, And the most important is to put into the practice, what they have advised in terms of our practice, the path, to integrate the path, Dharma, to integrate and to put into the practice, and that is the most joy that we can that the Guru can have when they see the disciple or students, whatever they have learned and studies, that they are actually putting into the practice, and that they see by putting in practice, they see there is a change in that practitioner, the student's attitude, their behavior, their way of thinking. When they see that, then they feel, the meaning of them, the purpose of them being there and to guide and to teach, they see that is having some purpose, the result of that. And so that is the biggest offering that one can give. The biggest offering, even though there are many offerings that we can give, the offering of service, the offering of wealth, whatever gift, but most important offering is that to put into practice, the Dharma into the practice. So through that kind of, thoughts and actions, then we try to repay the kindness of the Guru as much as we can, And then, of course, it is also very important to make a strong dedications, prayers, to be able to meet the teacher, the Guru, not only this life, which I have met, but also during the intermediate stages, the partial stages, and all future life, until we achieve enlightenment, to be under their care, guidance, all the time. So we need to dedicate in prayer and to meet them throughout life, and not only meeting them, then meeting them, and to receive the teachings, continue, and to make progress on the path and to achieve enlightenment. So that is another kind of the prayer dedication we try to do all the time as much as we can. Okay, so that is a little bit, but kind of that is short meditations on the Guru devotions. Of course, if someone is interested, then of course you can read the Lamrim. There are many, whether it's Pabonga Rinpoche Liberation Path, whether it's Lama Tsongkhava's Middle or Great Lamrim, or many others Lamrim that you can read on Guru devotions. In terms of the benefit of relying on the Guru, the shortcoming of not relying on the Guru, or incorrect relying on Gurus, and then how to rely on Guru in terms of through thoughts, actions, and in terms of the thought, then there are four main kind of outline of meditations, how, Guru is a Buddha, because in many of the Buddha's sutras, Buddha himself has mentioned many times, in the futures, I will come to guide in the ordinary forms, and so on. So, and then in terms of, we must be receiving the blessing of the Buddhas all the times, because if we are not receiving the blessing of the Buddha time after their enlightenment, then what is the purpose of their enlightenment? The purpose of their enlightenment is to guide and to help and that, and so we must be received, because there are so many Buddhas who have achieved enlightenment. They all must be trying to help us, trying to bless us, and through their different activities. And if that is the case, we must be receiving that. And one of the main Buddha's activities is, and we cannot receive the blessing directly because of our obscuration. And so therefore, it has to be passed through someone else, and then it comes through the gurus. So the guru is the one who passed, and the someone who passed, that all the blessings cannot be ordinary beings. And so therefore it is a manifestations of the Buddhas in that ordinary form that carry all the blessings towards us. And from that point of view, another point of view, again, meditating, the guru must be Buddha, because all the Buddhas should be trying to help all of us. And the way the Buddha helped us, as Buddha himself said, I cannot take away your suffering like that. If there's a thorn on your feet, just while you can take away the thorn and your pain can be taken, I cannot take your all suffering like that. Neither I can wash your all sufferings like you can wash your dirt. Neither I can transfer my realization to you as though I can pass, some stone to you. That way I cannot pass my realization to that. But how can I help is by showing the path. The way I help is by showing the path. So that is how I can help you, and that is what I will do. So that is what Buddha himself has said. And so therefore Buddha must be, there are so many Buddhas who are trying to help us and who are trying to show us the path, because that is the way they help and benefit. And so if that's the case, who is the one who is showing us the path? Is our guru. Who else? And so from that point of view, again, having more convictions and confidence, that it must otherwise it would be the Buddhas are not helping us. And if the Buddhas are not helping us, what is the purpose of achieving enlightenment? And that is to help each and every sentient beings. And so therefore, they must be helping us. And if they are helping, then how they help is through by guiding, teachings, showing us the path. And if we really check in the world who is doing that for us, then it is our guru, Then if you think, how can that be, because I see some shortcomings, faults in the gurus, he or she doesn't seem to be omniscient. He or she make mistakes. He or she is not perfect. They just look like us, ordinary, maybe a little bit more knowledgeable, maybe a little bit more experienced. But basically, they seem like just like us, But again, even though that might be that is how it appeared to us, we cannot say for sure that is what really is. sometimes due to our own obscuration, we project a lot of things in others. Not necessarily because there is a fault in someone else, but due to our own obscuration, we project a lot of fault in others. It is possible. It is not always the case that there is that fault is there actually in the object, but a lot of time our obscuration kind of project in them, and then it appears like that. But through that, by meditating that, we cannot 100% trust the appearance to our mind. There's no certainty whatever appear to us will be true. It is not always true what we see is true. It's not always the case. It's not always the case what we hear is the truth. It's not always the case what we believe is the truth. And so therefore, just on the basis of what we hear, what we see, we cannot say for sure that is the actual reality. And from that perspective, then again, we try to see it. And also, another way of looking at it, if we see that way, is there any person in this world where you don't find any fault or shortcoming? Is there anyone where you see, that person is omniscient, no problem at all, just perfect, everything perfect? If there's no one in the world, does that mean there's no Buddha in the world? If there's no one Buddha in the world, then, all these teachings talking about the endless Buddhas trying to be help and benefit to the sentient beings. And among the sentient beings that there can be most help is the human beings because of their mind to observe and receive the teachings and practice. So if there is no Buddhas who is trying to help the human beings, then all the teachings seem to kind of collapse, and so then again, if you look from that perspective, again, that kind of analyzing and contemplating, meditating can be helpful, So again, without going so detailed in that, if you want more detail, then you can, as I mentioned, you can read the Lambrings more. They're very, very extensive way of contemplating, meditating. Here I'm just kind of touching on the main kind of outline of those practice meditations, and through that meditation, the end point of the meditation is to be able to cultivate a strong, confident trust, faith, and respect, and develop the devotions. And through that, open our mind and our heart. At the moment, a lot of time our mind is closed. And when our mind is closed and hard, even we try to listen to the teaching, even we receive the teaching, it doesn't go inside. It all information, all the knowledge go outside because the container is closed. It's not open. Once if you open the container, then when you open it and if you pour, then it will go inside. Same way, when we open our heart, our mind, we are able to receive much more. Definitely the teachings, even in ordinary informations, even in general knowledge, You know, a person whose mind is open, you know, they will see more and they will receive more. They are able to see it. But someone whose mind is closed because they have made the decisions, and then, you know, even there is a knowledge, even there is a good information, knowledge there, you are not even aware that is there because your mind is not open. And it's more even true. It is even more true when it comes to the Dharma teachings, and you know, and so then that it helps us. You know, then not only you receive the informations, the knowledge, but it sinks into your heart, into your mind. You know, where you started to really have some feeling about that teachings, about that practice, not just the intellectual understanding, but actually some true transformation and feeling, you know. Because a lot of time we just have the information, but nothing really change our attitude, our mind, you know, because it doesn't really sink into it. And so, and to be able to do that, you know, we need the blessings. To receive the blessings, our mind and our heart need to be open. And our mind and our heart will be open when we have that kind of strong sense of devotions, faith, feeling of kindness, gratitude, respect. In order to all those feelings, then we need to do some of those meditation practice in relation to that. Okay, so that is in relation to the first verses. Okay, and then second, bestow on me your blessing to live a life of Dharma, undistracted by the illusory preoccupation of this life. For well, I know that these leisure endowments can never be surpassed by countless treasure of vast wealth. And this precious form, once attained, cannot endure. For any moment of time, it may easily be destroyed. And so again, this is, making a heartfelt request to the Guru Avalokiteshvara to bless us, you know, to guide us, to inspire us, again, through the three syllables and his heart, you know, light and nectar flow, white night and nectar flow, enter yourself through the crown, cleanse and purify all the negative karma, all the obscurations, all the delusions, obscurations, and especially all the obscurations to have a realization of precious human rebirth and a realization of impermanence, that impermanence being completely cleansed and purified. And then again, you know, yellow, orange light and nectar flow into yourself, filling your whole body, receiving all the blessing, body, speech, and mind, and especially the realization of precious human rebirth and realization of death impermanent, receiving that. So you do that visualizations, and then you can do the meditation, the actual meditation on that. You know, again, so here, you know, the first meditations is on precious human rebirth, you know. So here is, you know, the precious human rebirth. We cannot compare the value of that preciousness, the precious of human rebirth, compared to the vast of wealth, you know, no treasure of vast of wealth, you know. Because, you know, no matter how much precious, how much wealth you have, it cannot buy true happiness. You can have money, but that doesn't mean you will be happy. You know, it cannot buy the happiness. If you look in the world, are the most rich people more happy? It's absolutely not. It's very clear. There are so many people who have so little. If you go to many of those villages in the world, people who have so little, but who are much more happier than people who have so much. So therefore, happiness cannot be, you cannot buy the happiness by money, by wealth, But the happiness can be achieved through your practice, your meditations, and that the precious human rebirth with eight leisure and 10 endowment, with that precious human rebirth has this potential, the potential to practice the Dharma, and having actualized the Dharma, to find happiness. Happiness of this life, happiness of future life, happiness of liberations, happiness of fully enlightenment. This human life, precious human life, have all that potential to achieve all of that, which the money does not have. The money does not have, the wealth or external wealth or money do not have, cannot even buy the happiness of this life. Cannot even buy the happiness of just this life. Forget about the happiness of liberation, happiness of fully enlightenment. It cannot even buy inner mental peace, inner mental joy and peace. And so therefore, when you compare that, then you can see the value of this precious human rebirth, because it has so much potentials. It has so much potentials. Once you realize how much potential it has, how precious it is, once you understand and find the value of this life, then we will not waste it. We will not waste it. We will really put into the Dharma, practice of Dharma. Because, you lose this opportunity. You have so much potential. You have so much, we have this life with so much potential, but you just kind of, waste it without using it a good purpose. Without for good purpose. And so through that meditations, we come to understand the preciousness and the value of this life. Through the understanding of the value and precious of this life, then we need to come to a point where we feel that we shouldn't waste it and make it more, take an essence from this life, make it meaningful and purposeful. And the way to make our life meaningful and with a purpose and beneficial is through engaging in the practice of the Dharma. Because that is the only thing that can help us at this point, at the time of death and after the death. If there's something that can help us all at now, at the time of death, after the death, it is the Dharma, nothing else. The wealth cannot help after the death. The wealth cannot help at the time of death to have peaceful death. The wealth even doesn't help much even at this time. But if we really practice the Dharma, then it can be beneficial at all those time. And so therefore, with that understanding, then we will try to dedicate our life to the Dharma practice without wasting this precious life and being distracted, without being distracted to, or distracted and be preoccupied with just the pleasure of this life, just the pleasure of this life. At the moment, our life is all about running after things that bring us this pleasure in this life, And we get so preoccupied with that, we get so distracted with that, we cannot find the time and energy to really focus on the real Dharma, real practice. Yeah, we get so distracted, so distracted. Even when we are full of time, we cannot concentrate, we cannot find time for Dharma, even for few hours. Even if you have nothing to do the whole day, you don't have to go to the walk, and we are full time, but still it's hard to find time to do the practice. We have time to waste our time to, watch news, TV, entertainment, hours and hours. We have time to kind of gossips, unnecessary things, all of that, time, hours and hours. We have time to waste in so many different ways for hours and hours, but we struggled to find even half hour, 1 hour to practice the Dharma because we get so distracted. We get so distracted. And because we haven't really understood the value of the Dharma and the value of the precious human life. If we really understand the value of the Dharma, the value of the precious human life, probably we will not waste so much of our time and energy in those. And we will be able to focus more and give more time, energy towards the Dharma and towards our practice, And so that, so, if you, again, then meditating on the meditating on the at leisure and meditating on the 10 endowments. So in generally meditating on precious human rebirth with the 18 qualities, meditating on how precious it is in terms of that it can give us meaning, it has the potential to achieve many different levels of happiness, different and the only way to make our life meaningful is through the practice of Dharma. That's all that really help in short term, long term. In short term, long term, if there is something that helps, is the Dharma, the practice. If there is something that helps both our body and mind, is the Dharma practice. If you practice Dharma, it will help your mind, and if you have a good, peaceful mind, it will help you to have a more healthy physical body. On the other hand, if you don't have healthy mind, if your mind is disturbed, full of stress, full of tensions, full of anxiety, worry, full of frustration, anger, then not only emotionally you suffer and not being healthy, but that will affect your body, your blood pressure going up, and all kind of sickness and all of that. And so again, so the Dharma, the practice of Dharma helps both your mind and your body. It helps now and in the futures. It helps to achieve temporary happiness and ultimate happiness. It helps for your own happiness. It helps for the happiness of others. True Dharma practitioners, not only it helps them, they will be much more kind, compassionate, and more helpful to others. They will not hurt and harm others. So it's not only beneficial to yourself, but also is beneficial to others, to the society, to the world, to the whole sentient beings. So therefore, that being the case, then even though it's not so easy sometimes because we, due to our so strong imprint and attachments and distractions, everything's, but we have to put more effort to practice the Dharma as much as possible. So slowly increase the time and energy towards Dharma, not decrease it, Sometime at the very beginning, when we meet the Dharma, we are being very inspired and we find a time to do a lot of study, practice. We are able to find time and energy to do more practice and study and Dharma practice, to do more retreat and so forth. But with the time, instead of increasing that energy, time, and that it decreases, and then slowly, you don't have time to practice, study. And so I know that means we are not going in the right directions. Then the last two lines of that verse, that this precious form once attained cannot endure for any moment of time. It may easily be destroyed. So that is the meditation on death impermanence. Even though this precious human life is so meaningful, with so much potential, so precious, but it does not last forever. It does not last forever. It will come to an end one day. It's only a matter of time. When it will come to the end, it's only a matter of time. For some, the end comes even the birth. Even before birth, children dying before birth. Some after the birth. Sometime while they are in childhood. Some of them while they are in teenager. Some of them while they are in adult. And some of them live more in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. As far as we know, I don't think there is anyone who have lived more than 150 so far, according to our understanding of present history, and so it comes to an end. It has to come to an end, So what, if it comes to an end, so what, well, the point is, since it's come to the end, and this precious human life has so much potential, you want to utilize that potential before it comes to the end. So that is it. The purpose of that meditation is so that you come to understanding and realization, conclusions. Since this life is not going to continue forever because it comes to the end, so therefore I have to make use of it before it comes to the end. Before life comes to the end, I have to make most of it. I have to practice the Dharma as much as possible before the life comes to the end. If the life doesn't come to the end, then we can postpone it. We can do next time and next time and next time. We can do that. We can postpone and we can say we have time to do practice the Dharma later. But that is not the case. It's not that our life continue forever. So since it's come, then we have to, not only we need to practice Dharma, we need to practice Dharma before it comes to the end. And make our life meaningful before that. Not only we need to practice that, we need to practice immediately because we don't know when that day is, If there is a kind of fixed, lifespan, let's say we all live 100 years, then at least we can kind of, calculate, I'm still in 50, 60, I still have 20, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, I still have that time. So still, even we have not been able to practice much, even we can postpone, still we have time to do that. But that is not guaranteed, there is no guarantee, This year might be our last year as in this form, as human beings, these human beings. This month could be our last day this week can be our last day. Today can be our last day. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Since we don't know, therefore, we have to practice without postponing it. Without postponing it, we have to practice right now. So that is, so through this meditation on that impermanent, not only that we all have to come to the, not only the life come to the end, but we don't know when it's coming. There's no guarantee how much there is no guarantee how much we have. And since we don't know that, then we must try to practice now as much as possible. So if we started practicing now, even the life comes end to the tomorrow, at least we have made some meaningful, we have done something today. There's something that we can carry. There's something we can carry and work on that, and so that we don't have to regret at the time of death and after the death, At least at the time of death, we might say, yes, I haven't been perfect. I haven't been able to do all the practice that I wish I wanted to do, but at least I've done this much practice. At least I've tried. At least I have studied and practiced this much and that. And there's something you can feel good about it. Instead of feeling so much guilty and regret, I wish I could have, I wish, I have done and this and that, But at least we start doing now, and at the time of death, we have something, we can rely on, some practice we can rely on, that we can feel confidence, even though I haven't been able to practice perfectly and everything I want to, but at least I've done such and such. I've done such and such practice. At least I've been giving such and such time and energy to study, to practice, to meditate, to help benefit. And so, there is something that we can hold on and not be so depressed, regret, and full of, so then we can have more peaceful transition, peaceful death. And that peaceful death can affect our next life as well. So therefore, so that is the meditation on death impermanence. Again, there are many different meditation on death impermanence, many different form of meditations on death impermanence, So again, without going in details, again, there are many different form of meditations, the meditation in terms of, three reasonings, 3 root, 9 reasonings, and 3 conclusions on death impermanence. There is another meditations that you imagine and visualize being in your bed in your last moment of the day, where you are surrounded by your family, friends, whatever, and it is your last day, and imagining that and what kind of emotions you go through, and the whole process that we will be going through one day. So kind of imagining now and trying to work with that, and through that, there is that kind of meditation on that. There is a meditation on 8 dissolutions, at the time of death, external and internal signs as we go through each step of dissolutions, and being familiar with those, through this meditation, being familiar with those signs, internal and external signs. So when we face the death, we are more aware of what's going on and knowing what to expect next. So we don't get too much fearful, or because of those different visions and different appearances, and instead of being confused what is happening now, because you are having all kinds of different visions, appearance that you have no experience, and confused what is happening, but being more aware of that is what is happening, and that is what is going to happen, and so again there is more peace, less frightening, less confusions, more clarity, so also there is a meditation on how it looks and what it looks, at the time of after the death, your bodies, the first day and 1 week, if you without being cremated, if you live for many, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth weeks, and all of that, how it. So there are many different forms of meditations related to the death impermanence that you find in the Lamas and others teachings and practice. So again, I'm not going to go in detail each of them in now, but just to kind of touch on that and just to give you the informations, those who are interested to learn more and more depth than you can find in those Lamrim commentaries. Okay. So I think I will end here today with that. And any questions, comments, questions that you want to share?
Amanda has a question.
Yes, please.
I just have something to share, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I found a very old copy of the Bodhisattva's Way of Life.
Uh-huh.
It was published about 50 years ago. And I was looking through it, and in the section, The Perfection of Contemplation, it's got one of the verses, verse 129. It's a verse I've heard, like a lot of times, but the way it was translated was just a little bit different, and for some reason it seemed to make a bit more sense to me, and I was wondering if I could read it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, all of those who are in a condition of unhappiness in the world are that way because of desiring their own release. And all of those who are in a condition of happiness in the world are that way from seeking the release of another. And I guess it made me realize that all I do 24 hours a day is seek my own release from suffering. It just somehow the penny dropped. And so I thought I'd read it out. It might help somebody else.
Okay, thank you. There is another question, Avon. Yeah, I think we discussed about Avon in one of the classes, I think, in the past, Yeah, it is a non-dual of wisdom, bliss, or, yeah, it depends. Clear light and or clear light and lucid body, yeah. Okay. If there's no more question, then we can do the dedications. Yes. Oh, yeah. There is one question. Yes.
Hi, Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Krishna. I have a question. Like you were talking about when we think of our guru as the Buddha. Is that, am I correct? I remember Krishna. That's like if I have another guru. Is that disrespectful if I think so many guru Krishna?
Yes. The idea is to train to see, first starting with the root gurus, where it's more easy for us to have the devotions, faith, feel the kindness, and where it's easy for us to see as a Buddha. Like every practice, we start with whatever is more easier. And then we expand And then not only with your root guru, then you expand that same to others gurus, which you feel more closer. They are also like same like this guru. They are also like Buddha, and also they are manifesting on this root guru. And slowly you expand to all the gurus, and to be able to see all the gurus as Buddha, to be able to see all the gurus as one and inseparable. At the moment, we have our favorite guru and less favorite guru, oh, this, I'm close to this guru, I'm not close to this guru, I'm inspired by more this guru, I don't get so inspiration from this guru. So we have all this kind of, dualistic and this kind of bias kind of mind. But the whole training is to actually to be able to see all of them equal, see. Yeah. But of course, like every practice, we have to start from somewhere. And the starting point is where the most easy one. And the most easy one for us to see that is our root guru, because I was strong, personal, strong connection in whatever way, because of that, it's more easy for us to see that. But then we don't just remain on that. Then after that, we expand to all other gurus. That is the whole case. Okay?
Oh, thank you, Geshe.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel Bodhisattva that has not arisen and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Jigden Kande Pende Malu Ba Kangle Chungwe Sampe Yeshe No Gardin Songme Tenzin Jasola Sowa Deso Tuche Lundu Sho Tutu Janshin Jamgen Jage Tenzin Jong Pewe Punso Topolo Chosum Kowe Lema Tutu Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. Today, I see many of you from Australia, so good morning. And those who are in the North America, good evening. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Geshe.